Hi and welcome to this latest 10x Leadership video. Thank you very much for tuning in. This week we're going to be having a look at the Modern Leadership series again, and it's episode 41 this time, about leveraging technology and how to increase your productivity through apps. So just a quick reminder of how we got here. Back in episode 35 we looked at three things: adaptability, leveraging technology and inclusivity. We're on the middle one. And it's all about navigating changing environments. So you want to have a look at the adaptability videos. That's videos 31, 36 and 37. We've been having a look at leveraging technology, so the second section, and there's a whole load of things to cover there, both sort of technology awareness and systems thinking. And we've covered off AI, machine learning, large language models and agile in episodes 38, 39 and 40. So again, if you haven't seen those already and you want to go and watch them, I'd highly recommend it. This week we're going to talk about that last bit left in section in A there, which is about the apps side of things. And the probably the most important tool for most people is Microsoft 365. What used to be Office 365, now called Microsoft 365, and it is the most popular and widely used tool set for productivity in the UK. And as the title suggested of this video, this is about how, as leaders, do we make sure we're more productive, and how do we make sure our team's more productive? Well, one of the ways is using a productivity tool set like Microsoft 365. Now, I know other tools exist, especially if you're on the Apple operating system. You can still get Microsoft on there, of course, so it's still relevant, and there'll be equivalent tools that you can have a look at if you use Apples rather than PCs. So if we look at the sort of main tools that are in Microsoft 365, you've got Word, Excel, PowerPoint and Outlook. You have a series of other tools as well, things like Teams, OneNote, SharePoint and Power Automate as well. And then there are slightly more obscure tools as well that are all part of the wider suite. So there's all sorts of things out there, and there are all sorts of tools that are being developed all the time. So keep your eyes peeled on what's in that tool set, and whether there are new tools out there that will really help you and your team to be productive. So just in case people aren't already aware, I just want to quickly trot through what these tools do broadly. So Word, as the name suggests, is about the sort of written word. It's about reports, documents, those sorts of things. Excel is more on the data side and the data manipulation and data analysis. PowerPoint, there's quite a lot of ways you could describe PowerPoint. For me, it's about storytelling, and it's about graphics, and it's about getting your message across using imagery. Lots of people use lots of text and then just read out every single line, every bullet point. You might as well not bother. It's about storytelling. For me, it's about graphical representations of the story that you're trying to tell. Outlook, I know some people are moving away from email or have moved away, but for those still using email, it's about email management, contact management, task management is also built into Outlook. Teams is really about collaboration, how you work together with your colleagues, and when we went through the pandemic, Teams and other tools like it really took off because of hybrid working and remote working. OneNote, as the name suggests, is note management. I still see a lot of people making notes in notebooks and pieces of paper. That's okay, but there are two obvious reasons why that's not the right thing to be doing. One is, what happens when you lose that book? All of your information's gone. If it's in OneNote, it'll be backed up. You can't lose it basically. And the second thing is, OneNote is great for searching as well. So quite often I can remember a bit of a conversation, but I can't remember where I've written it down. If I go into search in OneNote, it comes back instantly. SharePoint's about document management. So again, sharing information making sure it's accessible to those who need it, and doing so safely and securely. And then the last one, Power Automate, as the name suggests, is about automation, and really it's sort of about building applications of your own to workflow and automate activities, but in a low code way, so you don't have to be desperately technical to be able to do it. There's lots of drag and drop, there's lots of simple things that help create the apps that will do the work for you. So if we just look at the Microsoft 365 suite, there are tons and tons of tools in there that can make you and your team really, really productive. The problem is though that we only use a fraction of their capabilities, and you'll forgive me for that little bounce animation there. That's one of the capabilities of PowerPoint. I don't use it very often, but there are lots of things that we could be using in this suite, but we're not. And if we look at the big four, we're only using about 20 to 30%, research tells us, of the functionality and the productivity that we could be getting out of Word. It's only 10 to 20% of Excel. And I've mentioned that image of the person pulling a funny face in this in this series. Whenever I mention Excel, lots of people do that. But lots of things we do, there are lots of people out there who are knowledge workers. That's usually data. Sometimes it's written word, but it's often data. So if you can't manipulate and you can't analyse data, you're going to struggle, and it's going to get harder and harder. And we're only using 10 to 20% of Excel's capabilities. PowerPoint is only 15 to 25%. And again, I see lots and lots of presentations that really are just a load of bullet points in the same format, and people just talk through them, and it's dull. Hopefully that's not what you're thinking of these videos. If it is, comment, let me know, and I'll take that feedback on board and look to do something different. And Outlook, again, if you're using Outlook, only about 25 to 35% of the functionality of Outlook is being used on a regular basis. So the trick, I think, and the point of this video really is to remind you that we all need to have a growth mindset. That's one of the keys of being a modern leader and a great leader. And we should be learning how to exploit these tools. And if you do, you and your team will be significantly more productive. And that's not just a bold claim, it's a fact. There's so much capability that we don't tap into just with these simple office tools, that if you just do a little bit more, even 5% on each of these tools, it'll make a massive difference. So what I'm going to do for the remainder of the video is just look at some of the underused features, or if you want to think of it another way, the productivity enhancers that you could be utilising that you might not be. So what I'm going to do is just talk you through some of those features that tend not to be used but could make a difference to your productivity, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to in fact link you to some sources of information where you can find out how to do the things and a load of other things with those tools that really will make you more productive. So the good news is I'm not going to take you through that. We'd be here forever, and often these videos are too long anyway. But in terms of Word, the things that will make a difference and that most people don't use are things like styles. So you can set styles in your document. It's like an automatic formatting element of Word that means that if you're putting headers in, they will always be formatted in the same way, the spacing will be the same, the colours will be the same. You get consistency across your document, and what you need to focus on then is the content rather than the styling. Linked with that are things called templates. So you'll have no doubt seen when you load up Word, there are a whole load of templates that you can use there. Things like reports and CVs and those sorts of things. they're already formatted, and all you need to do then is again put your content in them, and they're already been designed in a way that will make them visually appealing, will help the audience understand what you're trying to get over and convey that story in a good way. But again, all you need to focus on is putting the content in, not on the formatting. Mail merge is another one. I use mail merge quite a lot. Lots of people are really scared of it. Mail merge simply is, it's a way of sending, or in fact combining a Word document and some data, and then merging the two together. It's good for, I don't know, if you've got a load of letters or emails to send out to people, and you want to personalise it and you want to put some personal information in it. You can take some content from Excel and a range of other data sources, pull it into the documents, and get it sending those documents automatically by email, in this example, really, really quickly and easily. And again, it's really simple to do. It's basically you click and drag the fields that you want into your document, and then when it pulls the data source together, it does all the hard work for you. Really, really quick and easy, but a massive time saver. Macros are the same. There are different levels of macros, I suppose. In its very simplest form, it copies what you've done. So, you can show it how to do something, record that, and then when it comes to doing that the next time, it will just repeat the process. So again, a real time saver. There's lots of collaboration tools in there, working on documents at the same time to save you having different versions and trying to merge the information together. And you've got version history as well, so that you can make edits, and then if you realise you don't want that and you want to go back to a previous version, you've got version history there. Again, lots of people don't know that, and they just go back and type it all again. The channel that I recommend, so a YouTube channel, and that is, now I don't know quite how to pronounce his surname, but that is Kevin Stratvert. Apologies, Kevin, if that's not how you pronounce it, but I'll put a link into the description. Kevin was, I believe, an ex-Microsoft employee, and then he went off and created his own channel. He's got millions of subscribers and hundreds of videos on there. And he's got, as you can see there, I've linked, well, in fact, I haven't linked to the playlist, but I'm showing the playlist of how to use Microsoft Word. There's a whole load of other technologies and a load of other applications on there as well, so it might be, if you don't use Word and use other things, or in fact a whole load of other tools, there might be some videos on his channel, so I highly recommend his videos. If we have a look at Excel, some of the features again that are really going to make you more productive and save a load of time are pivot tables. Now, for years I couldn't do pivot tables. I can now. Again, it makes a massive difference for summarising data, and it even helps. I was doing something this week where we're trying to pull a load of data together and then categorise it. I had a pivot table on the back end. We could then see how quickly, well, not how quickly, but we could see what data still needed categorising and which ones we dealt with, and then it helped us to recategorise it because the categories had too many categories. So a really quick and easy way of visualising data. Power Query is something that it's one of the best tools as far as I'm concerned in Excel. It's also basically the sort of heart of Power BI as well. So visualising data, a visualising data tool. So if you can do Power Query in Excel, you can then use the same approach for using Power BI. So you train in one part of Excel, and then you've got some knowledge to use another tool as well. Power Query itself really is a non-destructive way of data wrangling. It's pulling data together, it's normalising it, it's standardising it. You can add columns, take them out, you can get rid of rows, you can do all sorts of manipulation and calculations, and it keeps all the original data, and then it stores the steps basically that you've taken to manipulate that data in a list, and you can go back and undo them, you can tweak it. It's really, really powerful. So if you do nothing else in the Excel side of things, look at Power Query. Conditional formatting is fantastic as well for helping to visualize and understand the data you've got. Advanced charting itself. Lots of people are really worried about charting again. Go and watch some videos on how charts, really good charts can be created really simply. Again, there's macros built into Excel, so if you're going to do repeatable tasks, you can create macros, and there's a whole load of data analysis tools built into Excel as well, most of which people don't even look at. But if you've got any data to analyse and you're using Excel, go and have a look at these and a whole load of other bits of functionality as well. Now, by far the best Excel channel I've come across is from Layla Garani, easy for me to say. And again, Layla's got millions of subscribers, dozens and dozens of videos. You can see there on the screen, that's a list of some of the the playlists that she's got on the site. Really, really clear, really simple instructions. Goes into just the right level of detail so that you can work along with it and work out how to do what she's shown you. And there'll be so many productivity hacks and improvements you can get from that channel as well if you're using Excel. The third one is PowerPoint. So, as I say, this for me is about telling the story. So you can have some really good information, but if you don't convey it in a simple and understandable way, then you're going to struggle. Some of the things that people don't use regularly are things like Slide Master. It's a bit like the templates that we saw or I mentioned earlier, in Word. It's about building some, I suppose, almost templates at the front, well, in fact, in the back end, that you can reuse. So if you can have, like a logo on, you want a logo on every page, you want it to be in a consistent place, you can put that into your Slide Master, and then you only have to add it once and it will be on all your slides. You can put it in different places on the different templates within Slide Masters. You can have different Slide Masters, you can have different formatting and colours and all sorts of things all built in. So then when you want to use a particular slide, you can just drag it out of your Slide Master and then use them. Advanced animations, or even animations. People tend not to use animations because they think, they think it cheapens the content. You've got to use them sensibly, but it can really enhance the storytelling again if you are using animations sensibly. The custom templates are a bit like the templates we talked about in Word, and again there are all sorts of designs you can use as well, and that will pre-format what the slides look like, and you can then just pick the slide you want for any given content, and mix and match them as you need to tell the story. So if you're not graphically minded, those templates and custom templates and designs are really, really good. Transitions, hardly used, but transitions make a massive impact. I've used a lot of morph transitions in my slides, in this, not just in this series actually, on this channel. So when you see, watch carefully when I go to the next slide and that PowerPoint logo slides off to the left hand side. That's basically just using some morph transitions. It just makes it all feel more professional without having to put a lot of effort in. And there's multimedia integration as well, so there's audio and video. Lots of people don't go anywhere near that, but it can really enhance the story you're telling. The other thing is you can use 3D models. So there are lots of free 3D models out there. I've used them in some of my videos before, and then you can, you've got an object you can twizzle round and look at from different angles, and you can use that to tell the story. For me, by far the best channel for PowerPoint is slide skills. So lots of morph transitions, lots of simple PowerPoint skills as well in there. But these are really good quality tutorials that are just the right pace. It walks you through what he's doing. It gives you links to the content, so you can just follow along and practice as they're going, and you'll create some fantastic slides. Finally, in terms of the 4 tools, Outlook, the things that are going to help you and be more productive are things like rules and automation. So if you're getting certain content in, or you're getting emails in from certain people, rules can do certain things with them. So basically you tell it what to do, and then it just, when a trigger happens, like an email comes in, it will run that rule, whatever the rule happens to be. And there's a whole host of things you can do with it. And that's sort of linked to the automation side as well. You can have shared inboxes. Task management is also built into Outlook, and that can link into things like your calendar to remind you to do certain things at certain times. And then you've got integration with Teams and other Office 365 or Microsoft 365 tools. So there's lots of integration in the Microsoft suite that just help you be more productive. Again, for me, one of the best places to go is Kevin's channel, and what I've put there is a graphic specifically about Outlook. So there's a whole playlist of videos about how to use Outlook from a simple perspective all the way up to sort of expert users. So a really, really good resource there as well. So finally, and you'll have seen this slide already in this series, this is about using the tools that we've got to be more productive. And apps, along with AI and all the other things we've spoken about in this series, are there to enhance human performance. So yeah, you can cut the grass with a pair of scissors, but if you're using the right tool, you'll be so much more productive. Not just you, but your team. So really the key message from me in this video is, just like it was in the AI videos and all the other things we've talked about, they are tools. Technology and the apps and AI are just tools. So make sure that you exploit them, make sure you utilize them. And you can only do that by understanding how they work and basically doing some training on them. The other thing is, this is a leadership channel, of course. So if you are a great leader, you're going to be leading by example. You're going to be showing your team that this is important, and you demonstrate that by leading by example, by learning what the new tools can do and how you and your team can be more productive. And then you need to be encouraging your team to use them. And in fact, I'd go further than that. I'd say if they're not using them, it should be as bad as not being able to read and write, that they're not using the technology and the apps and AI to deliver a better service to your customers and to make your team and an organisation productive and effective. So that's it. I hope that's useful. Even if you just spend 5-10 minutes every few days going and look at some of those channels and going through some of those videos, before you know it, you'll be so much more productive, and you can just build and build and build on that. And you won't know yourself soon. Hopefully that was useful. If it was, as ever, please like, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, but it makes a massive difference to the channel, and just encourages me to keep doing these videos, sharing information and helping you to be a great leader. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.